Hello, my name is Mary Miele. I am a tutor, a teacher, a parent, and the founder of Evolved Education Company. We are a full service tutoring and advisement company for all of your educational solutions. On this podcast, we'll explore ideas, techniques, and resources that you can use to support your school-aged child to conquer any learning issue. I'm so glad you're here. Hi, everyone. Today, we're going to talk about procrastination and working really late at night and working at the last minute and what you can do about it. I had some parents contact me about this very issue, and I've also been working with some students around this issue. And I have a 3-part process that I want to share with you that we work through because it may be of help to you if you're going through this with your child. So the first part of the process is to teach your child what is happening in their brain when they are working last minute. So what happens in the brain is that it is flooded with cortisol, which is the stress hormone, especially when students are speaking to themselves and having thoughts that are full of threats, such as, if I don't do this, I'm going to get kicked out of this school. Oh my gosh, if I don't work on this project and get an A, I'm going to fail out of this school, or I'm not going to get into the college I want to get into. So when students are really putting stress into their brain in this way, the cortisol is going to flood the brain, and then there are going to be some effects of that hormone getting into the brain. So the first one is that the pain tolerance increases. So students have and feel less pain, even though they're going through something kind of painful, which is A, worrying about something, but then B, also maybe doing some work that isn't meant to be done in one sitting. So they're really like putting themselves in a pretty painful position to be writing a really long paper in one sitting, or studying for a huge test in just one sitting. So that's kind of helpful in getting them through it, but not exactly what we want for our kids, right? To be doing that kind of work. And the second effect that's helpful is that the attention and the memory and the focus go up. So we're able to really attend and focus more than if we weren't waiting at the last minute. So many students will say to me, well, I do my best work really late at night, and I'm really focused at that particular time. And I understand that makes total sense to me. Also, the blood sugar is going to go up. So we're going to have even more energy to give this really big, awful assignment that we have to do in one sitting, right? So, of course, I understand when my teens are saying to me, hey, you know what, Mary, there is a lot of good that's coming from me working at the last minute. And I don't think I would be able to get through this work if it was lasting me for 5 days. Like, that's just not at all something I'm interested in doing. And I respect that. And I understand what they're saying. So I try to teach them, like, this is the feedback system that's going on in your brain. And there's also some negative pieces that are happening here, right? There's some negative consequences to you having cortisol flooding your brain. You're going to have an increased blood pressure. You're going to have a decreased immune system. So you're going to get sick, possibly if you're exposed to something. You're also going to have digestive issues. So these are not pleasant. And I know most kids can kind of wear these, and maybe they don't feel like they're as immediate as the surge of attention and focus or the surge of energy that they're getting. So it's not really front and center in their minds, but I do want to point those out to them, and you could too. So we get why kids are doing it. We understand that there's an appeal to this way of working. And especially if history, let's say, is not your favorite subject, doing it in one day may seem a lot less painful than doing it over 5 days. So what we kind of have to do is recreate the belief system. So if we believe, for example, that the way of doing this work over 5 days is going to be awful and painful, and just as awful, let's say, as it would be working last minute, then that makes total sense. Like, if we believe that, then of course I would choose to just do it in one day too. So our job is to really counter that, is to say, wait a second, hands raised here. This doesn't seem right. I don't think if you work on it every day for 5 days, it's as painful as when you work on it one night until 3 o'clock in the morning. I actually think that's an incorrect way of believing here. So now we have to really work on our belief system, and we have to work on maybe doing this differently with some support so that children can have evidence for this being different, right? So, for example, when I'm working with kids, I would never, for example, tell them, okay, how about since you've been procrastinating, instead of that, why don't we actually just do a little every day? I'm going to give you a schedule, and then you're just going to do the schedule the way it is, right? But often this is what we do with kids, is that we just give them a timetable of suggestions for when they should be accomplishing what. And of course, they just throw that thing out the window and they're back to working last minute until 3 o'clock in the morning, because honestly, they don't believe us. They don't believe that it's going to be less painful. So we have to start with really this belief system and challenge it and say, but wait a second. What if it's not painful? Like, honestly, what if we just work on it for 20 minutes? But you have to stop after 20 minutes. You're not allowed to work any more than 20 minutes. What if that was the case? What if that was the case? And all of a sudden I have kids looking at me going, 20 minutes? That's ridiculous. Why would I even do that? What can you get done in 20 minutes? Like nothing. This is a paper that took me like 5 hours to do on the night that I was due. No way. That's not going to happen. So I have to usually sit with them for the 20-minute time. And I have to say, okay, we're going to start and you're going to stop after 20 minutes. We're going to see what we actually get done. Let's go. And it's so interesting every single time we do this. The 20 minutes goes by and the kid turns around and it's like, wait, we got a lot done. We did. We just wrote our thesis statement. We just researched the whole paper. We just wrote down note cards. We just studied half of the terms on the test. So it's interesting what happens when we really say, you have to stop after 20 minutes. You can't go any more than 20 minutes, because in some ways we're tricking the brain there, right? We're giving the brain a little bit of cortisol in that moment. So it's still pretty helpful, I would say, right? So once we hold their hand through the process, right? We get them to work it through it a little bit differently and we challenge the belief system a little bit, right? Now we can build on that experience and share the other side effects that end up happening, which are really happy ones, which is that oftentimes the grade is actually better when we work on it over time, because we're actually putting information into our brains over time, which allows us to store it into long-term memory a little more effectively. And if we're writing a paper, we can go through the process of revisions and editing and meeting with our teachers to make sure we're on track and getting feedback and perfecting the way we're communicating. Look, we're getting this really like next level product out because we decided to work last minute. So now all of a sudden in the brain, we have different messages coming in, right? We have a new feedback system that we're developing, which is, hey, wait a second, if I work on this just 20 minutes every day, I actually get a better grade. I get a better product than if I work last minute. All of a sudden, the appeal of working last minute is going down because we're replacing it with beliefs and results and evidence that is countering that original belief, which is, if something is pretty awful, I'm just going to do it in one day and I'm going to get it done in one night. That's it. So this is the process that we work in when we want to change a student's habits, right? We want to make sure that we're understanding what's happening in the brain to really support this habit, because something's going on that's making that work for that particular child. It could be a thought they're having. It could be a biological feedback system that's happening. It could be a lack of skills that are happening, so they don't have anything to replace it with. So they're just doing what they can do, even though it's totally ineffective, right? And then what we do is we hold their hands, because we really have to do that. If you don't give them enough support when they don't know how to do something, it's not just going to magically appear. We have to really help them. We have to teach them. We have to coach them. We have to support them to do something different. Think of yourself. Let's say that you were going to, learn how to compete in a tennis game. and you needed to learn how to do the backhand and to serve the ball. You aren't just going to learn that in one night if you have one lesson and be able to compete at a really high level. That's not going to happen for most people, I would say. Let's just say, but I'm just saying it's hard to do, right? So this is the same concept that we're talking about when we talk about replacing the last minute work and the procrastination that happens, right? So I wanted to share this with you again because it was a question that came up in our email, and also just something that I've been working on with our students with a lot of success. And it's been so fun to see kids be able to work overtime and really come out of their experience, A, feeling better, B, actually enjoying what they're doing, because let's be honest, this was usually something that they didn't really enjoy doing. And they also are healthier and they're sleeping better and they're not having pain in the learning experience. And I just have such an issue with people having pain in a learning experience. It shouldn't be painful. It shouldn't always be things we want to do. Sometimes we have to do hard work. Sometimes we have to be in a place that's uncomfortable. But when we're putting our body in a state of massive stress to get something done, it's just, in my opinion, it doesn't need to happen. It just doesn't need to be there. So I hope you found this episode helpful. And again, I thank you so much. I have been so overwhelmed with the support around this podcast, and I've been really pleased to hear from parents. And if you do have any comments, or if you have a question about learning or school placement, or anything related to raising your school age child, you can write into hello@evolveded.com. And I will make an episode for you, just like I did for this one. And you can also follow me on Instagram. I show up there often. I'm often sharing my knowledge, my experience, my tips, my ideas, things that our team is coming up with here at Evolved Education Company. We are there. That's our handle. So @Evolved Education Company is the handle that we have. So I hope to see you there too. And of course, our business is to support you, the parents. So come on by. You can have a lesson, a consultation. You can come in and take a course. You can come to one of our live workshops. Anything that you would like to learn and do as a parent of a school-age child, you can do here at Evolved Education Company. So thanks again for your support. It means the world to me. Have a great rest of your day, and happy holidays to those who are celebrating. Thank you so much for listening to Evolved Education. If you like what you hear, please subscribe and write a review. You can send us any and all educational questions to hello@evolveded.com, and we'll try to address it in our upcoming episodes. That's Evolved Ed, EVOLVEDED.com. To learn more about how we can support you, go to evolveded.com and book a complimentary 15-minute phone call with us. Are you a professional educator? You can join our teaching school membership platform to gain support and engage in a community interested in learning together. Click on the link in our show notes to learn more.